So yeah, today we're going over Starship combat. It's very involved.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other stuff, so we're going to break this up into a few different videos, make a playlist out of it. Evan, do you want to take it from the top?
Yeah, so Starship Combat takes, starts on page 316 of the Starfinder core rulebook, and it's a little bit, different than, regular combat. It can be kind of weird at first, a little bit jarring, but once you get the hang of it, actually, it's kind of easy. In some ways, it can be a little easier than regular combat once you sort of, learn your role and, know what to do during that phase.
Yeah, because, like, sometimes in combat, some characters are better at role-playing and things like that. So there's some characters like, oh, I'm not good at combat, or something like that. For this, everybody has a role that they're going to know to do.
Yeah.
And so everybody can sort of feel useful. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of clunky because it seems like you're piloting a big Voltron. Everybody has like somebody moves the legs, somebody moves the guns, things like that.
A little bit.
So I'm just going to take it from Captain.
Mm-hmm.
A Captain, it basically can buff your ship, give your crew members inspiration, maybe taunt or talk to some of the others. And by, I want to say, third session, you should know who your, maybe not team leader, but your face character, your conversationalist of the group would be, and they'll be really good for this role.
Yeah. All right, and then the next, after that's the engineer, obviously it has to be, the most Scottish person on the team. If you don't have a Scottish person, got to do a lot of role-playing to make him Scottish. It's a whole thing.
Maybe go out and outsource to Scott.
The things that the engineer does is, so on the engineering phase, they can do things like they can, push certain, amounts of power to certain systems to make them work better, or just to, manage certain things. And they can also make repairs, to, fix those certain systems, or to fix the hull. The cool thing about engineers is, unlike the captain and the pilot, where they can only have, one person in that role, you can have, it's limited by how many people you can fit in your ship. Obviously, you can't have like a million engineers.
No, pack them in.
But you can have more than one. So let's say, for example, there's like more than one hull breach. You can, have them go and fix that, or, one person can be, doing the power stuff. One person can be fixing things, or what have you.
I like the pilot. They seem like the second in command of the ship. How it seems. Well, that's just. I know that's just how it seems to me. They're always deferring to the captain. It seems like the captain. They'll be the ones to defer to the pilot a lot to give them whatever benefits they can to pull off the different stunts and maneuvers, and there's quite a bit of them that they can do. Mm-hmm. It also seems like the captain will be giving the pilot a lot of orders. Because the gunner, they just sort of, all right, kill that guy. Okay, I trust the best to kill whoever's next. The engineer already knows their system, so they're going to fix. But it seems like the most synergy would probably come from a good captain working with your ace pilot.
Yeah.
At least in what we've done so far.
Yeah.
Again, like how I mentioned, there are a lot of stunts and maneuvers that the pilot can do.
Yeah, we'll cover all that in our pilot video.
Yeah.
So the next crew, position is the science officer, and they'll do things like, they can, scan for things. They can raise the shields and, repair them, or, bring them up, and just do general science stuff. Like, I don't know if there's someone who needs to, get, a beaker of, some sort of liquid and put it into another beaker, they'll do that. Yeah,
there's a lot of, different systems that your ship can give you for a science officer. They can also scan other ships, but again, we'll cover them completely in our science officer video, the playlist. And then finally, there's the gunner. That's the last phase that I'm thinking of there for that. Well, not phase, well, that too. The gunner, they're the ones that fire the guns. They may not have the most different little maneuvers and what they can do, but in Starship combat, they're going to be your fighter of the ship in a way. They're not going to be the most shiny, but in Starship combat,
they're going to be
the most important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're just going to
knock everybody to death,
or just ram, ram all your ships.
Just ram your hammerhead into every capital star destroyer, and then just keep moving it over.
Yeah. Doing that. And one other thing is, so you can't have people use their action to switch certain things. Let's say all the roles are filled and there's just, a guy there who, he just meets, so if someone tries to board the ship, they'll just be like, well, ba 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 ba, or something like that. And let's say, I don't know, regular Star Trek stuff, something hits a ship and a panel explodes for some reason. For some reason all computers do, and
it's full of dynamite, dude.
Yeah. So maybe he could do something where he could shove the pilot out of the the chair because he's down or something. Or just someone needs to switch something like that. It does, that does burn up your action, and that would take place during the, before the engineering phase.
And I believe it's only the pilot and the captain that can be switched over, right?
Well, they can only be switched over if that spot is vacant. So, like I said, the pilot's incapacitated, or the captain's got a case of the space madness or whatever. Maybe his Ralston like he should have.
Yeah.
He's got space madness. He can sort of just punch him and be like, "I'm dad."
Yeah. There are different phases to Starship combat. The engineering phase is first. This can be done simultaneously across all ships.
Yeah.
And this is when the engineers, they check systems, make certain repairs, things like that to the ship. These can be resolved on the same turn, so anything like that. Next is the helm.
Yeah.
Helm is grasped mainly by the science officer and the pilot. Piloting makes a piloting check for each ship, and so the lowest piloting score is who determines who goes first. This is sort of speaks to how
they're able to like outmaneuver each other. Like, well, I'll move over here. It's like, well, I'm moving over here, which seems backward at first, but once you read about it, it makes some sense.
Yeah, because obviously the more skilled pilot with the better ship, for sure, would be able to outmaneuver them. So whoever's worse goes first. So you can compensate for that.
Yeah, then they get it less lazily to the left.
Yeah. But, science officer makes their scans during this turn as well.
Yeah, and so, but it's one of those things where, for the purpose of rolling, if they are, science officers scanning things, they would do their scans first, and then the pilot will use that for their bonus. And that just determines whether, the pilot looks at the science officer and says, hey, scan something first before I move. And
what's their guns look like? What do our stuff look like? Things like that. And then finally, the gunnery phase is the last phase of this. Basically, these are sort of resolved on the same turn, basically. So say your ship is firing its flat gun at a BMZ Mauler that's coming in, and they're shooting at you their laser cannon or what have you. Both of the groups resolve their turns, so even if you do successfully blow up the other ship, the laser's still coming on over. So damage is rolled for both.
Yeah. So they would physically roll first, but then damage, like you said, it is resolved at the same time, because even if you blow up, like last thing, just because you blow up that one ship, that missile that they shot,
don't explode.
Yeah, they're still coming around because.
No, the mama ship died, and so the bullets get real sad and leave.
Yeah.
That's how guns work, right?
Yeah, well, no, it's something where like.
And so the captain could basically move on any turn in this initiative, and that's sort of because the captain is doing something like buffing other people, taunting, or even pleading for mercy if you're really outclassed. Does that basically cover everything? Just the broad overview of Starship combat?
Yeah, I think it's the broad strokes, and like I said, we'll have our other videos. You can click here, and it'll take you to our playlist.
Or just click here and subscribe. Again, thanks for watching 20 Sided Night, and have a good day.